Song of Being a Child. When the child was a child, it walked with its arms swinging. It wanted the stream to be a river, the river a torrent, and the puddle to be the sea. When the child was a child, it didn't know it was a child. Everything was full of life, and all life was one. When the child was a child, it had no opinions about anything. It had no habits. It sat cross-legged, took off running, had a cowlick in its hair, and didn't make a face when photographed. When the child was a child, it was the time of these questions. Why am I me, and why not you? Why am I here, and why not there? When did time begin, and where does space end? Isn't life under the sun just a dream? Isn't what I see, hear, and smell only the illusion of a world before the world? Does evil actually exist? And are there people who are really evil? How can it be that I, who am I, didn't exist before I came to be, and that someday the one who I am will no longer be the one I am? When the child was a child, it choked on spinach, peas, rice pudding, and on steamed cauliflower. Now it eats all of those, and not just because it has to. When the child was a child, it once woke up in a strange bed, and now it does so time and time again. Many people seemed beautiful then, and now only a few, if it's lucky. It had a precise picture of paradise, and now it can only guess at it. It could not conceive of nothingness, and today it shudders at the idea. When the child was a child, it played with enthusiasm, and now it gets equally excited, but only when it concerns its work. When the child was a child, enough for him to eat an apple, bread, and it still is. When the child was a child, berries fell into its hand as only berries do, and they still do now. Fresh walnuts made its tongue raw, and they still do now. On every mountain top, it had a longing for yet a higher mountain, and in each city, it had a longing for yet a bigger city, and it is still that way. It reached for the cherries in the treetop with the elation it still feels today. It was shy with all strangers, and it still is. It awaited the first snow, and it still waits that way. When the child was a child, it threw a stick into a tree like a lance, and it still quivers there today.